Arash, 27 years old, who was cursed by a diabolical sorceress named Zara. A curse that, with the onset of darkness each night, sent terrifying and unknown creatures from the depths of the darkest nightmares to visit him. These creatures, each bearing a strange and eerie name like Shadow Moth or Silent Werewolf, surrounded Arash's bed with their scratchy voices and burning gazes, challenging him. Arash, who spent his days in fatigue and fear, sought a way to break the curse. But every time it seemed he had found an answer, a new and more terrifying creature appeared at night. Another night arrived, and with it, darker shadows took form in Arash's room. Heavy, slow breaths could be heard from a dark corner, where eyes glowed like red-hot coals in the darkness. Arash, now accustomed to the nocturnal sounds, cautiously stepped out of bed and moved towards the sound. But with each step, he felt a growing chill, as if something was scraping at his soul from within. Suddenly, a creature with white skin and endlessly deep eyes emerged from under the bed. This being, known as the Shadow Lizard, sliced through the air of the room with its long, forked tongue. Arash, terror flashing in his eyes, looked for a way to escape, but his legs had become heavy and immobile. As the Shadow Lizard slowly approached Arash, a sudden ear-piercing sound came from above. Arash looked up in horror and saw a creature hanging from the ceiling. This creature, known as the venomous bat, with its massive wings and eyes that shone like black jewels, was poised to strike. Arash felt the air being sucked out of his lungs, and any moment now, the venomous bat could swoop down on him. At that moment, the door to the room gently opened, and a mysterious woman draped in black entered. She, known as the Lady of Shadows, entered the room with a penetrating gaze and hands that sparkled with enigmatic light. Arash, now caught between two terrifying beings, didn't know which one to focus on. The Lady of Shadows, with a voice that seemed to come from the depths of other worlds, said, "Arash, you are not alone. I have come to help you." As the Lady of Shadows approached Arash, the venomous bat let out a loud screech and lunged at him. Arash dodged with all his might, narrowly escaping the attack. But he realized the room was no longer empty. Scratchy sounds and indistinct whispers came from every corner. The walls began to move, and terrifying images of pained faces and staring eyes appeared. The Lady of Shadows spoke in a calm but firm voice. "Arash, you must come with me. I will take you to a place where you can be free of this curse." Arash, having no other choice, took her hand. Suddenly, the room transformed into a dark, endless corridor. They began to move, and with each step, more terrifying sounds could be heard. Creatures with burning eyes and mouths full of sharp teeth emerged from the walls, staring at them. At the end of the corridor, a door to another world opened, and the Lady of Shadows pulled Arash through it. They entered a land where the sky was always dark, and a thick fog enveloped everything. The Lady of Shadows told Arash, "This is the land of shadows. The only way for you to be saved is to confront your fears and break Zara's spell." In the land of shadows, Arash and the Lady of Shadows arrived at a place enveloped in a thick fog. Here, the sound of ancient whispers and endless moans could be heard from all directions. The Lady of Shadows led Arash to the center of this land, where an ancient stone altar stood. She told Arash that he must overcome his fears with all his heart and perform a ritual to break the curse. Arash, with a heart full of courage, approached the altar and began reciting incantations that the Lady of Shadows had taught him. With each word that he uttered, a brilliant light emanated from the altar, splitting the fog. terrifying creatures, one by one, screamed and returned to the land of shadows. Arash felt a heavy weight being lifted from his shoulders. As the ritual concluded, the Lady of Shadows looked at Arash and said, "You have succeeded, Arash. You have overcome your fears with the power of your heart and broken the spell." Arash, now free, moved towards a door that opened to the real world. He left the land of shadows and returned to a world where the sun shone again and life continued. Arash's story is a tale of bravery and inner strength, showing that even in the face of great fears, hope always exists.